I want to end a 10-year-long friendship with my best friend over a stick. Posted by you/informal_advice_9436. I need advice on what to do. I, 26F, have been friends with Abigail, 25F, for several years. We met freshman year and hit it off, but for the rest of high school, she was homeschooled. I met my now fiancé, 27M, also in high school and eventually introduced his best friend, Robert, 26M, to Abigail. Robert and Abigail started dating, and we formed a small group that would always hang out together. We all liked hiking and often looked at hiking gear together and went on trails. A couple of weeks ago, Robert got a walking stick. He had placed it in his car and noticed that the car door was open. He drove up to me and asked me to close the door. While driving up to me, I was facing the front of the car and couldn't see what was blocking the door. I just shut it without looking, like he asked me to. He started screaming, telling me that his new walking stick was now broken, that I had snapped it in half. I started crying and apologizing profusely, telling him I was so sorry, that I hadn't been paying attention. I just went to close the door. I didn't even see it in there, but that wasn't good enough for him. Later that day, he texted me and asked me to reimburse him. I told him I could give him 10, but that was all. He told me that 10 was all it was worth, but I needed to give him 50 for the trouble. I was blown away by this, and I made the mistake of telling him the date of my payday. When that day arrived, I had forgotten all about the stick and had taken a nap after school and work. I woke up to countless text messages and multiple group chats of him telling me to pay up and that it was my payday. I then texted him directly and asked for his information, and he decided to tell me that it was okay, that I didn't actually have to pay him back. After he made a fool of me in front of all of my friends in every group chat that I was in with him, I still paid. Flash forward to yesterday, my fiancé, Robert, and Abigail all decided that they wanted to go hiking on a trail that is more dangerous than what we normally do. I decided to stay home, so the rest of the story is a mix of what Abigail and my fiancé told me. Abigail decided to buy a $100 fancy walking stick and wanted to test it out on the trail. I joked with her before they went that since the trail was known for being more intense, it might not be the best idea, but I was just joking, too. Hours passed, and I got a phone call from my fiancé telling me he was on the way home, with Robert in the back screaming, "You break it, you buy it. You break it, you buy it." Apparently, on the trail, Abigail's stick got stuck in a rock, and while the boys kept pushing ahead, she pulled it out and it snapped as she tried to catch up to them. Abigail says that if my fiancé hadn't been going so fast, it wouldn't have happened, and she blamed him for breaking it. Robert obviously took Abigail's side and, for the rest of the hike, hounded my fiancé for the payment. My fiancé and I are both in college and in between jobs and do not have $100 to throw away on a high-end walking stick. They both know this. That night, Abigail texted my fiancé a screenshot of the walking stick, circled the price, and wrote, "I know money is hard right now, but I need my stick, so I'm going to order it tonight and you can pay me back as soon as you get the chance." Abigail and Robert both have stable jobs and are not in college. I got mad and told them that my fiancé would not be paying for something he didn't break, and that Abigail shouldn't have even brought the stick on that trail. They were pissed and texted us endlessly, saying that we were in debt to them and that we owed them, that it was only right to pay them back. I think what pissed me off the most is that all through the years, every time we went somewhere, I drove and paid for gas, dinners, movie tickets, and outdoor activities, and they never once paid me back for any of it. I never even thought to ask them to, and here they are yelling at us to pay up and saying we're being ridiculous. Time and time again, they both have put money before friendship. Do I put this behind me, just pay them, or do I leave? /relevant comments. Commenter. The logistics of this situation don't make sense. He drove up to her with the door open and asked her to close the door for him? 1. Did he throw the walking stick in the back seat with the door already open? Did he know the stick was blocking the door? Why did he not warn her about the stick when asking her to close the door? 2. Is it possible to drive with the door open on new cars? There must be a whole bunch of alarms going off, right? 3. He really asked someone else to close the door for him? What a lazy piece of trash. Get up and close your own damn door. Ops response. Okay, so the trail has a small little gravel loop that you're technically not supposed to park on, but he did it anyway. Robert and my fiancé were talking when he put the stick in, so when he closed the door it didn't fully shut. He has an older car, but I also don't think he was paying much attention. When he started driving, the car did start beeping at him that the door wasn't shut. He did the gravel loop to pull out and saw that I was walking toward the car loop, so he stopped and asked me to shut it. I do admit I wasn't paying attention, so I just opened the door and re-shut it a bit hard to make sure the door closed, but in doing that, the stick snapped. That's when he started to make a fuss that it had broken. In my defense, he has a lot of tint on his windows, and he didn't mention the stick was blocking the door. Commenter 2. Not sure if I'm misinterpreting, but did you pay $50 for a $10 stick for the trouble? Ops response. Sorry for the misunderstanding. In short, I did only end up paying the $10. So when he texted about the payment, I told him that I could give him $10 right then and there. He then said that it really only cost $10 but $50 would be nice for the trouble, and then asked how I knew it was really only $10. I told him that $10 was all I had till the 20th, my payday, and he said that I could keep it till then, that he understood my money struggles. I assumed he was being nice. So on the 20th, when he flipped out in all the group chats and I texted him, I still only sent him the $10. Now looking back on it, I really do feel like he was expecting the $50, and that's why he said I could wait till I got paid. Commenter 3. Two nutjobs found each other and formed a personality from hell. Please stop interacting with them. They are so toxic to you and your fiancé. Sometimes we meet others who use us. This is what happened to you. Bye-bye and don't let the door hit you. And say this ASAP. Commenter 4. Guys, this feels like a setup. Hey, I'm just sitting in my car, can you come close the door for me? Arg, you broke my stick in the door, give me money. That's a scam, right? He did it on purpose to make her give him money. Then her friend got a new stick. $100, she says. Then, when it's convenient and she needs to catch up, it breaks. This feels like they are both working together to get money out of you both. Not sure why. But that's a lot of convenient situations that need compensation. Update 2 years later. My original post is from over 2 years ago. It has also been taken down since then by the mods for receiving the maximum amount of interactions for non-throwaway accounts. However, I think it's still viewable on my profile. Before the update, I'd like to clear some things up, as many of you guessed the situation wasn't truly about sticks. At the time, I was younger and wanted to get the point across without giving explicit details so that if Robert and Abigail saw it, they wouldn't immediately know it was about them. I was really talking about fishing rods, however, the situation remains the same. Instead of a hiking stick on a rocky trail, we were fishing on a boat prone to sinking. If you have any additional questions, I'd be happy to clear those up. I'm not scared of them finding this anymore. Now for the update. I'm happy to let you guys know that I dropped those scammers. We never did pay Abigail the money she requested. We didn't break it, so we didn't buy it. Although, sometimes I do feel some unexplained guilt about the situation. Like I said, our friendship was over 10 years long, so it wasn't easy or immediate to drop her from my life, but it was needed. We still follow each other on Instagram, but it's rare that we interact. I'm sorry for the lack of an explosive situation, but I'm glad you all helped me come to terms with leaving that relationship in the past. My fiancé, however, hasn't easily gotten rid of Robert. After moving into the real world, Robert followed my fiancé everywhere, it felt. He applied for the same job, works for the same company, and copies every move my fiancé makes. He laughs it off and lets it go, but every now and then I'm reminded of the situation, and I get annoyed all over again. But to give my fiancé some credit, we all aren't as close as we once were. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Finally, an explanation for why the original post was so weird.